There is a Senate candidate that I want to inform you about. He is a Libertarian and is likely to win the endorsement of the Libertarian Party in his state. His name is Brian Ellison, and he is planning on challenging Democratic incumbent Debbie Stabenow. And he says that homeless people are constantly victims of violent crime, which is true, and it's heartwarming and encouraging to hear that there's someone who wants to do something about this, right? But he thinks that the best solution is to provide them with firearms. Okay.
God, I can't.
As if they were teachers.
Right.
All right, so let me give you the details of his proposal. And he's being serious. At first I thought maybe this was a joke, but no, he's being serious. So let's go to graphic 17. He says, frankly, I think the ideal weapon would be a pistol, but due to the licensing requirements in the state, we're going to have a hard enough time getting homeless people shotguns as it is. So he specifically wants to provide them with shotguns because the licensing requirements are a little more laxed when it comes to these shotguns. Now, Ellison said he and his team would aim to pre-qualify homeless people who wanted shotguns and were deemed suitable candidates to own them. So there's the issue of providing the guns, right? But then where do they get the ammunition for these guns? Well, Ellison's always thinking, he did think about this, and he realized that they would provide these individuals with a limited amount of bullets. And if they are caught using those bullets to shoot cans or anything other than someone who is posing a risk or a threat, then they would no longer give them bullets.
Okay, they're gonna get 5 or 6 shell magazines. First, let's note for the record that this guy's a very stable genius. But you're gonna get 5 or 6 shell magazines. And he's like, now, if they run out of them defending themselves, then we'll give them more bullets. Really? They're gonna shoot 5 or 6 people? And then like, my God, okay, this guy, I mean, to be fair, he used, he fired twice in one time. So 3 people are dead. Now finally we can give the guy new bullets because he used them well. Right. And he says that he settled on pump action shotguns for practicality purposes. Because how else would a homeless person kill someone if he didn't have a pump action shotgun?
Yeah, so again, it has more to do with the licensing requirements in the state. So if you have a pistol, you have to get it licensed, and in order to get it licensed, you need to have an address. And if you're homeless, you don't have an address. So he's actually thought through some of the details, which is amazing.
He also said he's gonna sort of poll them to see if it's something they want, because he doesn't want to force it on them.
He said that's right. He said they will not be forced to carry shotguns. Well, thank you. We appreciate it.
So he's going to go among the homeless and say, hey, you guys want guns?
I can't. I mean, I just want to go back to what Michael said. Like, we're at a place now where, like, of course he cares, and I think that's fantastic. This is total madness. Teachers being armed, it's not a solution. Every statistic shows us that when you put the gun in the person's hands, you increase their risk of death or injury. But I mean, you're basically throwing fuel on the problem.
Exactly.
And let me also bring up another thing. So, these are homeless people. They're unfortunately living on the street. What happens when they're asleep and their weapon is there? Like, who's gonna prevent another person from obtaining that weapon illegally? And I mean, this is such a terrible idea.
Trading their guns for alcohol or drugs or money, selling their gun.
Right.
And you think they're gonna go through the proper registration to sell the gun?
Right.
Or are they just gonna say, this is my private gun show?
The Skid Row loophole.
Yeah.
So one more quote from candidate Ellison. He says, are you worried about the police being armed with military weapons? I am. The world we live in is a scary world where the police, who used to dress in short sleeve shirts and carry a revolver, now have long rifles with scopes and bulletproof vests and armored vehicles. And quite frankly, that scares me much more than a homeless person trying to defend themselves with a shotgun. I think you can be scared of both.
Yeah.
Like, I think it's okay to be scared of both.
I'm definitely terrified of both. I'm going with like both.
But just putting more guns into society.
Amazing.
Yeah, so look, I want to be clear about something. I don't even think this Ellison guy is has bad intent or is a bad guy overall. Look, he says a lot of things that are interesting. He's worried about over militarizing the cops. He is a libertarian, so he thinks we're doing too much foreign intervention. I looked into him, okay, and he cares about minority civil rights. Those are all wonderful things, but he genuinely believes that the answer is always a gun, right? Is some sort of weapon, and so. Like we care about the homeless intensely, and so we think maybe a home,
just
right?
a thought, some food, a home,
right?
some healthcare.
And I don't say that just like flippantly. Utah, Salt Lake City, actually built homes for the homeless and found that it was incredibly cost efficient.
Yes.
It solved a lot of their medical problems. It solved a lot of the services that you would normally have to provide, and it was like this counterintuitive idea of like. They're homeless. Why don't we give them homes, right? Yeah. And it turned out to be genius. Other places are trying homes to cut down on emergency room costs, et cetera, providing some funding for rentals, et cetera. So there's so many different ways to address it, but let's also be realistic, and we've talked about this a lot. A lot of the homeless are mentally ill. Right. They didn't choose to be there, they just have an issue, and it's but they also have rights, and it's really complicated, and you want to help them, but you want to respect their rights, etc. But I think the very last thing you want to do to help mentally ill homeless people is to give them a weapon, because I thought of it selfishly, to be honest, like the idea of walking in LA's downtown or in San Francisco with homeless people with shotguns does not sound good to me. I'm keeping it real on that. But you guys made a good point that they're actually more likely to hurt themselves, because that's actually what happens when people own guns. Sarah made the point. She's right. 500 people die every single year in America from accidental gunshot wounds. To give you a sense of context, this is amazing. All gun deaths in Japan combined, even if you triple their population to equal ours, is only 39. Wow. Whereas we have 500 deaths every year from just accidents, let alone homicides and suicides, which is over 30,000.
If you like this video, bless your heart. We got a lot more where that came from. We do a full show every day, Monday through Friday. Come enjoy it ad-free by becoming a member, tytnetwork.com/join.